Hey everybody, welcome to Tifffinity TV. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that like button and most definitely make sure you subscribe. Turn on the notification bell to be sure you catch all the latest uploads and show recaps. So yes, we're talking about Grownish Season 4. This is episode 12 and it opens with Phil finally meeting Luna. I am so happy that Nomi went ahead and decided to allow him to come over and allow Luna to meet her father. So we'll get back into that. But we're going to move on to Zoey and Luca. They're starting to work together. She decided to work with him in an internship, and she comes to learn that he has no money in the business. He has nothing that will allow her the freedom to buy the things that they need to actually work together on projects. So Zoey asks Luca, how do you get money for your business? And Luca tells Zoey, well, normally Doug and I would host parties and charge people to get into our parties, and then we would just hope that, you know, we have some left over and that's what we would use. But I'm off Doug. Basically, he's not talking to Doug anymore since he found out that Doug and his sister Liella are together, or they're seeing each other. So he don't even want to deal with Doug. And now Zoey's questioning, second guessing, doubting this whole situation. She's totally regretting working with Luca at this point because she jeopardized her entire relationship for this, and she's second guessing the entire thing. We're moving on to Vivek, and Aaron and Vivek are discussing his application. He lied on his application about his legal trouble, and Aaron is telling Vivek, not to worry about it, that, you had to do what you had to do to get the job. And Vivek is like, you're right. It's all about what I do while I'm on the job. And so Aaron is agreeing with him that he just needs to worry about the job and nothing else, and everything will be fine. So now we're going to move on to Jazz and Dez. Looks like things are going pretty well. They've been dating for a while now. And, we've heard her address her issue of him wearing a dress. But he seems to really, really like her, and he digs her a lot, wants to take her out and show her off. And he invites her to come with him to a big event where they can get all dressed up and look nice and everything. And so we're going to revisit that shortly. So now we're going back over to Nomi and Phil, and they're having a great little family time together. And Nomi is seeing Phil interact with Luna and Luna interact with Phil. And so she invites him to come over to the house for Luna's birthday party. And Phil immediately is still being Phil and saying he can't make it, he has other plans. And so Nomi gets upset and she runs into the kitchen where Anna had taken pictures of them sitting out there together, and she shows her on the phone. And next thing you know, Luna starts crying. So she drops everything and she's running out there, and she sees Luna and she picks her up. She sees that she's crying and she asks Phil what happened. And Phil was like, I was sending a text and she fell. It was just, it was an accident and everything. And so she's comforting Luna, and she tells Phil this was a mistake, just go ahead and leave. And Phil just can't believe it. He's like, what do you mean it was a mistake? I messed up, but it's cool. So she just tells him to leave. So then Anna goes and talks to Nomi and tells her, like, hey, you really should give Phil a chance. Like, he's really trying to show up for Luna, and it's really basically what you wanted all this time. You've wanted him around. So back to Zoey as she shows up to Kiella's dorm room with that plotting look on her face as she pleads with Kiella to help her in her situation with Luca. Kiella has been seeing Doug, who is Luca's best friend, one of his best friends. And so Zoey is telling her, hey, I need a huge favor from you. Can you please just bridge the gap of communication between Luca and Doug for me, because we need to get this bread and it's not good for business. It's not a good look. And Kiella's like, you have this history of getting my brother into all kinds of drama, and it sounds like you're trying to get me into some drama. And Zoe's like, hold on, ma'am, pump your brakes, because you're the whole reason why Doug and your brother aren't speaking anymore. So if that's the case, if you want to go there, we're both the cause of putting your brother in some drama. And I love this because in pure Zoe fashion, she picks up the girl's glasses and completes her fabulous look with the Tupac chains and the shirt and the hammer pants. Love it. So Kiela has some thinking to do. What is she gonna do? So now we're gonna move on to Vivek and Aaron. And Aaron is listening to Vivek talk about his job. He said the job was great until it wasn't. And he goes into the explanation about how he got to work and everything was fine. His boss was cool. He was super excited to work there at the job. And his boss, his supervisor, notices him and says, hey, you look pretty familiar. Do I know you? And Vivek is like, no, you don't know me from anywhere. And it just kind of got super awkward from there. So Vivek is telling Aaron, this dude actually knows me from selling drugs. So Aaron is telling him, well, if that's the case, if the guy knows you from selling him drugs, what can he do about it? I mean, he bought drugs off of you. So if he busts you, he's busting himself for even buying the drugs. So you straight, don't even worry about it. Moving back over to Jazz and Dez, she's at his place looking for him something to wear to the banquet, and she shows him this great suit that has slacks and pants, and of course he's on the internet looking at a dress. Jazz says, no, I think the dress thing is played out. It's probably going to be a lot of guys wearing dresses there. I think you should really wear a suit. It'll really make a statement. And Dez is like, you're joking, right? And Jazz does not laugh with him. So he's like, okay, well, this is obviously a problem. There's a little more to it. We probably need to have a conversation. So she sits down, tells him how she really feels about him wearing a dress. She explains that the first night they went out and he showed up with the dress on, it surprised her. It was something that she really wasn't used to, and it was confusing for her. And so Dez is like, okay, so you have a problem with me wearing a dress. And she tries to explain to him, like, this is a problem that I have, it's really messed up, but I'm trying to be understanding and tolerant of that, the fact that you want to wear dresses, but just for this one time, for this one night at this banquet, can you just please come in a man's suit and not in a dress? She's asking him to please be understanding, and of course he goes ahead and agrees to wear the suit, and she's really happy that he decided to do that. So now we're moving back over to Nomi and Phil. And Phil decides to just pop up over at Nomi's house to see Luna. And Nomi opens the door in shock, like, what are you doing here? And Phil is like, well, I tried to call, I tried to text you, but you didn't respond. And Nomi's like, well, forgive me for not checking up on your schedule, but as a single mother, a single parent, which you don't know anything about, she's like, I have to get her up in the morning, I have to put her down at night, I have to plan her birthday party and all this other stuff. And feels like, oh, so this is what this is about. I can't make it to her birthday party. And she's like, no, it's the fact that you can't just cherry pick when you want to show up. You can't just be popping in and out like that. It's a serious business being a parent, and if you're going to come around, you need to be consistent. And so as they're talking, all of a sudden, Phil looks and sees that Luna is choking on something and rushes in to help her. And good thing that he was there to jump into action, because, it could have been worse. And I think Nomi she sees this and she's like, wow, this is actually a good thing that he's around. and he was here when something really bad was happening to my daughter. And so I think seeing this in action, seeing Phil actually be a father in this moment, Nomi's actually considering easing up on him a little bit and actually having him around more. So Anna sees Nomi sitting in the chair, sitting in the room, and she's like, oh my God, I was so scared. I'm sorry that I treated you and Phil. I was really mean to you guys. And Anna's like, it's okay, things happen, but Luna's good. She's okay. And so she gives her a hug and makes her feel better. Meanwhile, Zoey is trying to figure out how she and Luca can make some money, because he's clearly not motivated to make any money for this business. And so she shows him how people are actually getting paid to eat on the internet. She's like, look, these people are on the internet live eating spaghetti and they're getting paid. It's a great way we can make some money real fast. Just then, Kiela shows up and she's like, let me talk to my brother real quick. And Zoe's like, cool. I definitely glad you showed up, girl, because we are on the struggle bus over here. So do your thing. So Kiela is telling Luca, listen, are you tripping? Like, why are you tripping about me and Doug? You found out about us seeing each other and you just not gonna do what you need to do to make the money you need for your company. And he's like, well, I still got this Brussels thing. He has money in another account somewhere. She's like, no, but this is really petty. And she's like, let me show you how simple and easy this is. So she grabs his phone and she texts him, yo, sorry about the fight, let's get back to the paper, let's get back to the bread, making some money. And she shows him, look, this is all you gotta do. Just send the message. I already typed it out. All you gotta do is press send. It's really that easy. And so he's looking at the text, and he finally goes ahead and he just pressed send. So we'll see how that plays out. So now we're moving back over to Vivek and Aaron talking about the situation at Vivek's job. And Vivek is telling him that his boss wants him to get him some more drugs. And he's like, I can't do that. I can't get this guy some more drugs. It's going to blow up my whole situation. I don't know what to do. And so we'll come back to that. But now we're at the banquet. Jazz is looking beautiful in her red dress, and she turns around and sees Dez in a dress. And look at her face, guys. I mean, she's totally caught off guard. She really thought that he was gonna come in the suit, and she was like, I thought, and he said, I know what you thought. And I really planned to wear the suit that you picked out, and it was going to be really nice having you on my arm, but wearing what you wanted me to wear instead of what I wanted to wear took all of that away, and it put a damper on the whole thing. It's just the one issue that I'm hung up on. I'm really trying to work on it. I accept you for you. And he's like, no, I know you accept me for liking all types of people, but this is part of me. This is how I express myself, and I don't want to be with somebody who can't accept all of me for me. I'm happy with me as I am and how I dress and how I express myself. So if you down with that, then we can go in here and have a great time like we planned. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. And so he asked for her to come inside with him, but she couldn't do it. She just said no. And he kissed her and walked away. Jazz looks pretty broken up about it. I mean, she potentially has lost a really great guy, all because she's hung up on the fact that he wears a dress. Drop in the comments, what do you guys think? So as Nomi prepares for Luna's birthday party, I mean, the house is decked out, one. Phil drops in again, and she thinks that he's just dropping by to say goodbye. And he says, I'm actually not leaving. And so she apologizes to him and says, I shouldn't have flipped out on you on something that was clearly an accident and that was out of line. And so he's like, I appreciate that, but I was being real stupid about the birthday party. I'm not a good parent yet, obviously, but I'm trying. And Nomi's like, well, yeah, I actually can see that you're trying. I just got scared because it started to feel like we were becoming like this little weird family, and I didn't want it to go away. So I tried to push you away. And he goes, well, that's okay because I'm not going anywhere. I actually got Luna a birthday present, and she opens up an envelope that he handed her, and it's actually an apartment that's nearby to them. And so Nomi's like, wow, he actually got an apartment. He's gonna be nearby. Like, he really is trying to be a good dad and be around and be consistent, like I've been saying that we need for Luna. Back to Zoey and Luca. They have finally set up their mukbang and they're going live on the internet eating spaghetti. And apparently it's not very good spaghetti. And they're trying to fake it till they make it, but it starts to get a little weird. Some comments come through, some trolls start happening, and it gets a little crazy. That's it for this episode. Hopefully Luca and Doug will get it together and become friends again so they can get back to the bag. If you guys are enjoying the channel and the recaps, definitely smash that like button and of course subscribe. Thanks again for watching. You're watching Tifinity TV. Until next time.
And beyond.